Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekday morning show where we bring you the latest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical, on-chain, and fundamental analysis. And in today's episode, Bitcoin is looking good. It is looking so good. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting just shy of $25,000. And over the last 4 to 5 days, Bitcoin has been gradually and actually pretty quickly approaching this level of $25,500. And if we do break through, it's actually about 25 and a quarter. If we do break through $25,250,000, there is a very, very, very high likelihood that within just a week or two, probably just a day or two, to be honest with you, with the way Bitcoin's been moving lately, we could be rallying all the way up to $28,500, knocking on 30K's door, and that's what we're going to be discussing in today's episode. The very fact that Bitcoin is primed, ready, and positioned for one of the largest breakout rallies that it has witnessed in a very long time if we do actually go through with this. I'm Crypto Jebb. My name is Jebb McAfee. I'm your host. I bring you cryptocurrency technical analysis every single weekday here on Coffee and Crypto. And before long, I'm hoping, after the baby's here, technical analysis and content every single day. I'd like to get uploading 7 days a week again relatively soon. But of course, if you guys do know a little bit about my personal life, we do have a baby on the way. We'll be 32 weeks pregnant on Thursday, and she's been threatening to come early for the last 8 weeks or so. So she could be here at any time. So after she's here, I'm not going to tell you the name yet, but after she's here, then we'll kind of settle down a little bit, grind out just a lot more content. I've got so much stuff coming for you today, and I've got a very special announcement today, and we're going to jump into it briefly here at the beginning of the show, but then we're going to dive into it a little bit more towards the end. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and go over one of the most important, most fun parts of the entire live stream, and that is where I get to read green names and give a shout out to our wonderful subscribers, fans, super chatters, donors, it's everybody in chat. I love you guys so much. And you guys, just even before I read this today, we've got a big special announcement today that I've been talking about last week. I've been teasing for months. But I just want to, even at the beginning of the stream, I just want to pour my heart out and let you guys know how much I love you. I have been doing YouTube for 10 years. You guys don't know this. The YouTube channel's 5.5 years old. I've actually been uploading to YouTube for nearly 10 years. I'll have to go back on my other channel and see when it is, but I'm pretty sure it's been over 9 years now. I uploaded my first video. It's called Jump Shot or Jump Snipe or something, in a little blocky first-person shooter game when I was in 8th grade. And I've been making YouTube content ever since then. It's been my dream since I was in 6th grade to be a YouTuber, ever since I was watching like Minecraft content back in beta, for all of you guys who are gamer nerds like I was in middle and high school. And I've just always wanted to do this for a living, and I get to live my dream, and not everybody gets to say that, and I'm just so very thankful, and it's you guys that make this possible. So I just want you to know that when I tell you I love what I do, I love coming here on camera and sharing my journey with you guys, it comes from the heart, because I really do love being here with you. All right, Omai is in chat, said, good morning, hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Hashtag FinSov. I see what you did there. You were trying to say, hope everybody has a good weekend this coming weekend, but also past tense, that they had a good weekend during the past week. Very clever guy there. Mike Lowry in chat, and Rockin' Metal News in chat. Rockin' Metal News, you all also, as always, have a very cool name. Said, hi, Jebb. Hello to you. Mike Lowry's in chat. Said, good morning, everybody. We got Daz Meekin in chat. Green name, first green name of the day. Said, good morning, everyone. Hashtag FinSolve. Actually, Mike Lowry might still be... Mike Lowry is a green name also. His name is just also blue because he is a moderator. We've got CBD Suddy in chat. Said, good morning, chat. Hello, CBD Suddy. We got Crypto Mini Bike. We've got Crypto Mini Bike in chat. We've got Win Peoples. How are Sarah and the baby? Sarah is not feeling great, to be honest with you, and I might have to cut the stream short today, hopefully, and I'm praying, Lord, please help us not to have to cut the stream short today because our son is actually with us today. Today's President's Day, by the way, so shout out to our, 45 presidents. Every single one of them served our country. Like them, hate them, voted for them, didn't vote for them, whatever. We definitely appreciate all of our presidents. We probably don't always agree with all of them, but thank you to our presidents. Highly doubt any of them are watching this stream, but much respect to anybody sitting in office, even if we don't agree with them. But how are Sarah and the baby today? The reason I brought up President's Day is because Malachi, my son's preschool, is closed. So Malachi is actually right out there with his mother, and I'm like, Malachi, whenever we're in office, we have to be what? And he goes, shh. And I'm like, that's right. You have to be quiet because Daddy has to work. So he's sitting right there on the other side of the door, and actually. I don't know if this is bad of me or not, but I'll just tell you, I put up 2 sound panels and leaned them against the door in case he starts making a lot of noise. Hopefully it'll catch all the noise, so we'll be good. So you can pray for Sarah and Malachi that Malachi will be good and she'll be okay. CBD Study said, Jebb, I still plan to pay for a lovey. My kid has a sloth. Boom. There you go. Win People's in chat as well. Crypto Mini Bike in chat. Mike Lowry, CBD Study. I think I got a shout out for everybody. All right. I am very excited about this. So we're going to jump straight into the technical analysis here in about, give me like 2 minutes. Literally, you can set a timer if you want. Give me about 2 minutes. But before we do, I just first want to show you something. Are you ready for me to go on my screen and show you something awesome? Tell me in chat. I'm just kidding. I'm going to do it anyway. Check this out, guys. This is the new CryptoJebb.com. If you guys didn't know, we do have a website, and this just went live today. We've been working on CryptoJebb.com for the last several months, and as you can see, it is now live. You can go to CryptoJebb.com, and you will find this. We're very excited to announce the relaunch of this website and what it entails. You can see I'm actually logged into WordPress right now where it's built, so you won't see this bar, but everything else will look just like this. CryptoJebb, helping you chart your own paths towards financial sovereignty one step at a time. I love that. Scrolling down, you can see our mission here. We're more than just a YouTube channel. We're for the people pursuing financial sovereignty, people who want honest, accurate crypto advice at a time when FUD and FOMO can be hard to navigate. Here you can see our courses. As I told you guys, Principles of Trading, Principles of On-Chain, those will be coming soon, but for right now, Principles of Technical Analysis is live, and if you click this, that will take you to Teachable, because today is also launch day of Club DeFi. Down here, you can see some of our statistics. We've got over 200,000 subscribers, over 5.5 years of cryptocurrency research and knowledge. And also, we've got over 2,600 videos published on this channel, if you weren't aware of that. And then you click over here. We've got over 6,000 students that we've taught in our various course programs, so you can check that out. Then you can see a little bit of an animation back here, bring you the best in class of both entertainment and education, everything you want and need to know daily about the world of crypto. So welcome to the new CryptoJebb.com. You can come over here to About Us, and you can see this right here. The best investment you can make is one in yourself. If you guys have not heard me say that before, then you must be new here. So welcome to the channel. I say that all the time. I'm a cryptocurrency enthusiast and technical analyst with over half a decade of experience in the crypto markets. You can read the rest of that for yourself. Scrolling down, you can see our core values. We don't talk about them a lot here on the channel, but these are very important to myself and our employees. We love integrity. That's the love of principles. We have the spirit of challenge. We love to overcome challenges. We try and have humility. We love people by putting them ahead of our own interest. Kaizen, that is a core value at Toyota that I just love. It's the love of continual improvement. We've got the dream mentality and discipline. Not going to go into too much detail on those. And then you can also see some of our big guests over here. And then courses. This will take you to Club DeFi. If you hit courses, it'll take you to Club DeFi. You can hit join the club. Scroll down, you can read about your instructor right here, and then you can see that Principles of Technical Analysis is now live. You can go over to CryptoJebb.com and hit any of these buttons over on the homepage where it says Enroll Now. You can scroll down here and hit Club DeFi Principles of Technical Analysis. You can hit Courses. You can go to About Us. You can go just about anywhere, and it will take you to Teachable, where you are able to now enroll in Club DeFi. Now, about to jump into the TA, but I want you guys to know, of course, there were a few hiccups with the fact that CT2A is an antiquated product and also the previous launch of Club DeFi. It is relaunched. This is the permanent format, so I understand there's some hiccups there. I also want you to know that we've There's still some issues with a back-end vendor that we're trying to figure out, but we've kind of fixed our support line. So if you have any questions about Club DeFi pricing, anything like that, I want you to email us support@cryptojebb.com and give us some time, because Club DeFi is going to make so many sales that it's going to take us a little while to catch up with everything, but send us an email if you need help, support@cryptojebb.com, and we'll try and get back to you as quickly as we can. That should be fixed now. So if there's anything you've been trying to get our attention on, send that email again, and we should be able to get to it. Like I said, we had a back-end customer service vendor that is completely broken, and funnily enough, their customer service isn't very good, so we're trying to get that fixed. But support@cryptojebb.com should be fixed now as well. Boom. I am very excited. But let's go ahead and jump straight on into some technical analysis. That might have been a little bit over 2 minutes. Hopefully not. What are we doing? Turn the dark theme on here on CoinMarketCap. Let's go ahead and look at CoinMarketCap. As you guys are saying in chat, Bitcoin is currently trading above $25,000, and that is something that is very exciting to me, because as I said in the title today, Bitcoin is on the very cusp of a breakout, and I'm going to show you what that looks like relatively soon. Things are looking peachy keen across all kinds of different markets today, Bitcoin being one of them. So Bitcoin is currently trading at $25,020, up nearly 1% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum trading at $1,712, up 0.25% over the last 24 hours, and they are both up 15% over the last 7 days, up nearly 50% year to date on Ethereum, and up 50% on Bitcoin year to date. On top of that, even despite all of the FUD, we have seen that Binance is still up nearly 10% year to date, and up 10% over the last 7 days, and up nearly 30% year to date. We've got XRP doing pretty well. Cardano is down a little bit right now, but up 15% over the last 7 days, up 63.5%. year to date. That's something that we're very excited about. We've also got Polygon up 20% in the last 26% in the last 7 days, up nearly double year to date. Needless to say, the cryptocurrency market is doing very well right now, at least in terms of the appreciation of the price of different cryptocurrency assets. Now, the thing I want you to understand is that there are a plethora of different macro factors, there are a plethora of different fundamental factors in crypto, and a ton of different technical indicators and factors that we're going to talk about here today, and also that we talk about in Club DeFi. So, what are some of those? Well, let's first start with the macro backing. It's Monday, we've got some new faces in chat today, so let me just kind of give you the 30,000-foot overview of what's going on in the world and how that's impacting Bitcoin. I'll try and do this very quickly, concisely, and confidently. So, one of the biggest drivers of geopolitics 3 years ago was the pandemic. The pandemic shut down supply chains the world over, completely caused just the biggest hiccup that the global economy has seen since probably the Great Depression. The United States GDP fell by a third in 3 months, and then had to go through a rebound over the next 2 years that was driven largely by a lot of quantitative easing. That quantitative easing is essentially just the injection of liquidity into the economy by printing money and then giving it out to people, so that devalues the dollar. We're still facing the inflation from that. Fast forward to almost exactly a year ago, February 24th of last year, and you see that Russia declares war on Ukraine in what they call a special military operation. Go back to exactly 1 year ago today. I believe it was 1 year ago today. It might be 1 year ago tomorrow. But it was either February 20th or February 21st. And the dictator of Russia, Vladimir Putin, recognizes the independence of some breakaway parts, separatist regions in Ukraine. So you're looking at the Donbass region in eastern Ukraine. He recognized that in preparation for the land invasion of Ukraine. Those two geopolitical events have been the biggest driver of markets that we are seeing right now, coupled with a third, and that would be the demographic decline of the West and, frankly, of the East. Pretty much of the entire world that has developed. Now, we're not talking so much about Africa, the subcontinent. We're not talking so much about Africa, the subcontinent of India, or too much of South America, but much of the Northern Hemisphere that has been highly industrialized for 70 plus years now, or even 30 plus years. We're witnessing a major slowdown demographically. That is going to impact every facet of the economy, from tech to cryptocurrency to oil to retirement to pensions to the public education to everything, to technological innovation, because there's less capital in the markets. Those three major drivers, demographics, the war in Ukraine, and how China's mixed up in that, and the recovery that we're still in from the pandemic, are driving geopolitics right now. All three of those have a major impact on Bitcoin. Let's break them down one at a time. First and foremost, the pandemic led to a lot of inflation. In the short term, right after the pandemic started, you take a look at the chart, and obviously Bitcoin had been doing very well. If we look at when the pandemic came into play, we can see that Bitcoin dropped 50% in a day here around the odds of March in 2020. But from there, we went through this explosive rally where we rallied 1,500%. Why? Well, very simply, you saw the most obvious reason that Bitcoin is necessary on a backdrop of extremely high inflation, while there was also a huge amount of money being poured into the economy through stimulus checks and the Paycheck Protection Program and all kinds of other stimulus, where people went and invested it straight into Bitcoin. So that's what happened. You saw that 2020 was a very special time in crypto because it was the most obvious time in the history of Bitcoin why Bitcoin is needed, because it's non-inflationary, at least it's controlled inflation, and the inflation's far lower than what you'll ever see on the dollar during an inflationary cycle like that. And all of that inflation in the market drove money straight into aggressive tech stocks and also into the crypto market because it was risk on. Now we're seeing the opposite of that. There's high inflation, but there's less money, and the inflation's coming down, so the incentive to invest in crypto isn't as high because inflation's coming down, so people aren't thinking, oh man, I need to get out of the dollar. They want to get into the dollar because the stock market's suffering. So they're not going into Bitcoin, they're not going into the stock market, they're going into the dollar, and they're going into T-bills. That also ties into the retirement issue. Then there's also not a ton of stimulus. If anything, the effective federal funds rate going up makes that's like the opposite of stimulus. That is economic squeezing. That's economic tightening, making it harder for people to go out and get money on credit so that they can go and buy things like the markets. Now, I'm not saying it's a good idea to go and buy the markets on credit or on debt, but what I am saying that's very common. So the huge explosive inflationary event that we saw in 2020 that drove a lot of rallying on Bitcoin, it's quite the opposite right now, because instead of having a lot of easy money in the market, you have very, very hard money in the market to get because the EFFR is so high. And you're also witnessing the incentive to invest in Bitcoin, that being high inflation, start to come down as inflation comes down to about 6.4 where it is right now. So that's what the pandemic's done. Looking at the war in Russia and Ukraine. The war in Russia and Ukraine is a little bit harder to tie to Bitcoin, but it is arguably even more important. The monetary policy that the Fed is using right now, and the economic policy that the Biden administration is putting into place right now, and the globalization breakdown that we're witnessing right now that's leading to much more regional economic power rather than one global power economically, that being the United States, NATO, Europe, etc. That breakdown is leading to a lot more investment in traditional things like oil companies here in America, like real estate when the real estate prices are lower. A lot of money is not going into Bitcoin right now. Much money, quite a bit of money is going into other areas that are viewed as less risky as globalization collapses in on itself. You might think I'm a doomsday sayer for that, but I am not. Globalization is coming to an end right now. You probably heard a lot of people talk about that. The last 3 years, that's really been moving that direction after the pandemic, but especially after the war in Ukraine, nail in the coffin. It's being lowered down 6 feet right now. Now, at the same time, there's a huge amount of money being poured into Russia and Ukraine, and the entirety of the NATO alliance simply cannot make enough bullets to keep up with how fast Ukraine is shooting them. So all of the arms manufacturers in the United States and in NATO, their stock prices are going through the roof, and everybody's investing in Lockheed Martin, not in Bitcoin. So neither the outflows of the pandemic or the outflows of Russia and Ukraine are really doing anything bullish for Bitcoin right now. Then you have the demographical concern. You have the fact that last quarter 4 of 2022, you saw the average American that was part of the baby boomer generation move past the age of 65 into retirement. On average, the entire first world is moving into retirement at an unprecedented rate, one that we've never seen before. The number of people that are over the age of 65 now is much higher than it was even 5 years ago because the baby boomer generation was so large, and now the boomers are moving into retirement. That's wonderful. Enjoy your golden years. But the problem is, economically, those people are no longer working, which means they are no longer part of the production of the economy, which means that they no longer have as much money to consume because consumption is a very big driver of economics, which means they no longer have the ability to either, one, inject productivity into the economy because they're not working, or to really consume all that much in the economy. And if they are consuming something, they're just taking it from somewhere else because they're not actually producing, because they're not in the workforce. So if they are consuming something, where's that money coming from? Well, it's coming from their investments, and it's coming from the government Social Security program, which means that if they're consuming anything, it's coming out of the taxpayers' dollars, or which they paid into it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Social Security. I'm not getting into that argument. Or they're taking it out of their investment. So if they are consuming, then they're no longer investing because their investments are being liquidated right now to pay for the consumption and the fancy golf course and the golf cart and all of that, and the boat and the marina and the summer home in Florida. They help our economy, but that's just true. That's the way it is. So those three big factors are a big driver for crypto, and none of the three of them are actually very bullish for Bitcoin at all. But despite that, Bitcoin still does this. Bitcoin went through a shorter bear market than what we saw over the last entire history of crypto, and it went through a less severe bear market. Let's look at the previous bear markets. We saw an 85% drop over a year and a half in 2013 to 2015. That was a very substantial bear market. Here in 2018, early into 2019, I was here for this market. I made a YouTube video every single day during this bear market. We saw an 86% drop in just over a year. This bear market is less severe. Believe it or not. We've only dropped 78% over 371 days. It's lasted about the same amount of time, but it's nowhere near as severe. Whereas these bear markets dropped 85%, we've only dropped here 78%. There's a couple of different theories as to why that's taking place. The biggest one in my book is that as Bitcoin matures, you're going to see smaller bull markets, smaller bear markets, and instead of having these massive zigzags, which we call bull and bear markets in crypto, you're going to start to see more of this kind of gradual growth. And then in 20 years, you might see Bitcoin just kind of gradually growing with the market in a similar way that the stock market does, where yes, there's bear markets, yes, there's recessions, yes, there's pullbacks for a year or two, but in general, it's just kind of moving up and to the right. I think Bitcoin maturing will end up looking like that. So, what does that mean for us? Well, in my opinion, I think the bear market is over. Hang on a second. He thinks the bear market's over. That's a pretty big call. But hold on, I didn't say I think the bull market started. There are three kinds of markets. People normally think of bull and bear markets, but there's actually a third, and I'll show you in the history. There's something called an accumulation phase as well. The accumulation phase typically occurs, and we'll just draw this with a... Let's see, we'll just draw this right here. The accumulation phase typically occurs, we'll use the blue. The accumulation phase typically occurs at the bottom of a bear market before the beginning of the bull market, and we've seen a couple of them before. We've really seen about two right here. Right here in between the beginning of 2015, towards the end of 2015, that was an accumulation phase. Same thing right here. About Christmas 2018, moving through the April Fool's rally, if you'll remember that, in 2019, it was about 4 years ago. A lot of you guys might not have been here, but I remember that vividly. We saw what we call an accumulation phase. That's what seems to be taking place right now, is a smaller order accumulation phase. And then you could also argue that maybe that accumulation phase ended a little while ago. You could argue that maybe we're still in it. But the point is, we're not really in this blow off top, just massive bull market yet. We've still got a ways to go. But I do, at this point, have a decent bit of confidence that we've hit the bottom. It is possible that we drop down to 13.7. That is definitely a possibility, and I want you guys to know that. It is possible that this is a fake out rally and Bitcoin falls all the way down to $13,700. If that happens, it's definitely the bottom. Why? Because Bitcoin has undergone such explosive bullishness right now that it's proven that despite all of those macro geopolitical economic factors, Bitcoin can go into a massive rally. Why? Because this is a good piece of technology. That's why. Because Bitcoin is good at what it does. It is good at storing value into the future without it being stolen or inflated away if you are using proper security protocols. And if you're not being silly and leaving your cryptocurrency on exchange, if you are doing a good job protecting your cryptocurrency, or if you've stored it in your head or whatever, crypto is the single strongest store of value in the history of mankind. This kind of tech has never existed before. If you want to hear more about this, I encourage you to go and check out the interview that I did with Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor obviously has a background in a lot of science and engineering, because MicroStrategy is actually not an investment bank. MicroStrategy is a company that works with engineering patents. And as you'll see in that interview's got like 75,000 views. So go watch it. It's great, because he was there. We both, and I have a background in astrophysics, we both talked about how Bitcoin is the first superconducting, thermodynamically sound system monetarily in the history of the world. What does that mean? Thermodynamically sound means that it doesn't lose any value to inflation or to heat loss or anything. So if you're transmitting electricity over 1,000 miles, then you're going to lose sometimes 10 or 20% of that electricity to heat, because that electricity is traveling, boom, extremely quickly. That friction moving through the copper wire causes heat, which is radiated away, which is why if you get too close to a transformer, it feels very hot. Don't do that. Don't get close enough to try it. You're going to end up feeling some of that heat. That electricity is being siphoned off through heat. It's not a thermodynamically sound system. That's kind of the way the US dollar works. If you're trying to send the US dollar far into the future, 100 years into the future, you're going to lose 98% of it because of inflation. Bitcoin doesn't work that way. Instead of the copper wire and instead of the US dollar, Bitcoin is thermodynamically sound. It is good technology. You will not lose value. Why? Because it's non-inflationary and because it's continued to grow over the last 14 years, and for every reason that we can understand based on the physics of it, based on the economics of it, and based on the sociology of it, it will continue to grow because people value the ability to store value into the future. Superconducting basically means that whenever you're sending that electricity through that wire, there's going to be some resistance. It's measured in ohms. That resistance is the amount of electricity that won't get to its destination because why? Well, it's radiated away through it not being thermodynamically sound. That's a similar thing with the US dollar. If you're trying to transact it between countries, you're going to end up losing a lot of it to fees. On Bitcoin, it is superconducting because you can send all of it for a penny of a transaction fee. You could send $100 million on Bitcoin, and it's going to cost the exact same amount as if you went down to Starbucks and bought a latte with it because it is built that way. This is good tech. Full stop. So all of the factors I just talked about should be holding Bitcoin down, but why isn't it? Because the greatest entrepreneurs in the history of the world understand one thing. You don't build tech and hope people buy it. You find something that people want and you build tech that solves that problem. And that's what whoever Satoshi Nakamoto did. He solved the problem of people wanting thermodynamically sound, superconducting currency where they could send it anywhere they want at any point at any time, and it wouldn't cost them an arm and a leg. They'd be able to hold on to it forever and not lose it because Bitcoin, if it's stored correctly, is completely and totally unhackable. And it will not lose its value to inflation. Not very much anyway. There's still about 2.5 million Bitcoin that needs to be mined. But after that, it's done, and you've already got much lower inflation than you see in just about any world currency. That's why Bitcoin is doing well. Its value proposition is a technological revolution in the making, and if you're here in this stream or if you're here anywhere in crypto, you're a part of history. These days will go down in the history books 50 years from now when this is a $100 trillion market, not just $1 trillion. So there's the geopolitical, there's the I don't know, what would you say, ideological, if you will. Now let's look at the technical as to why Bitcoin is rallying and why I think the next couple of days could be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Now, there's a few different things that are happening right now on the chart that have people concerned. One of the things here is this death cross that's taking place out on the weekly chart. Out on the weekly chart, we have something called the 50 weekly moving average, which basically represents 1 year of average price for Bitcoin, crossing below the 200 weekly moving average on Bitcoin, which basically represents 4 years of average price for Bitcoin. The last year of average price actually is lower than the last 4 years of average price, which has caused the 50 to cross below the 200 for the first time in the history of Bitcoin. Many people think, oh no, this is a death cross. This is the end of the world. Guys, this is the end. This is the end. Bitcoin's going to zero. Never heard that before. And now Bitcoin's going to die and it's going to move into oblivion. And that's what people think, is because we've seen a death cross on the weekly chart. Case closed. Here's the thing. Look at this color right here. I am colorblind, but hopefully you'll be able to see better. Whatever color this is, either green or yellow. I have experience in technical analysis. I have experience in looking at colors, but as I said, I'm colorblind. So that's a disability, so don't make fun of me. It's 2023. Anyway, you can see these lines right here represent the closest approaches between the 50 and the 200 weekly moving average that we have seen in the history of Bitcoin. The first time we saw a close approach was right here at the end of November 2015. The next time we saw a close approach was right here in May of 2019. We'll put it right here. That's probably the closest approach. Then we saw a close approach right here, October 19th of 2020, and now we're seeing a close approach in the fact that, well, they're crossing, so obviously that's a near approach. We've never seen this before, but we have seen 3 times where these two moving averages cross very closely together. What happened? The first time we saw a near approach between these two moving averages, we saw a 4,600% rally over the course of 2 years. One of the largest, most important bull markets in the history of the cryptocurrency industry. That was the 2016-17 bull market. That's where the crypto market got me. I got into crypto right here. Boom. Been here for almost 6 years in July. Next time we saw a near cross like this, boom, 101% rally in 42 days. Kind of a mix-up right there. Then we see another a near approach, another near approach, up 450% in 175 days. We've never seen a cross like this. Why are we seeing a cross like this? Well, this is the smallest bull market on record, which means that we moved the 50 above the 200 less than we've ever done. In this case, when we were above the 200, you had to drop 94% to get to the 200 moving average. In this case, when we hit all-time high, you only had to drop 83% from that all-time high. You only had to drop 74% from that all-time high. In short, this moving average was higher, this moving average was lower as a result of the way this market and specifically this rally moved right here. That's why they're crossing. I would look at this not as a cross, but in the similar light that we've seen near approaches before. Obviously, that cross has not done anything bearish to the price because even right now, Bitcoin is doing remarkably well price action-wise. Why? Because if you look at the daily chart, we're having, instead of a death cross, a golden cross where we see the 50 crossing above the 200 on the daily chart. If we look into history on this color right here, kind of this beige or light baby blue, whatever color it is, you can see I've shown you all the different bullish golden crosses in the history of Bitcoin that really have any substance. There's a few that I've weeded out for various geopolitical and macro factors and reasons, but they basically show the exact same thing just a little bit later. These represent all of the golden crosses that we've seen in Bitcoin, minus a couple outliers. This one rallied us 50%. This one rallied us 641%. This one right here rallied us 166%. Going back into history, this one is the big kahuna. This one rallied us 6,500%. Looking back into history, we can see this one right here, another big kahuna. We rallied 22,000% over the course of 2 years from that. So whenever we see a death cross on the weekly chart, it's actually bullish, believe it or not. And whenever we see a golden cross on the daily chart, it is actually bullish, and that one makes a lot more sense. People say, what are you talking about? Death cross bullish? Yeah, seriously, you look at the historicity of, and by the way, that is a real word, you can look it up, you look at the historicity of that technical indicator crossing the way that it does, and you extrapolate based off that. You don't just say, oh, well, it's called a death cross, it must be a bad thing. Terminology follows function. What does the history say? The history says that a death cross or a near approach between those two moving averages on the weekly chart is actually bullish. So, now we have some kind of idea of why Bitcoin might be moving bullish, because everything I've talked about earlier was actually a reason that Bitcoin should not be bullish right now. If anything, it's a reason that Bitcoin should be just plummeting to the floor. But that's kind of a bullish thing, isn't it? The fact that Bitcoin shouldn't be doing this well, but that it is a bullish indicator in its own right. Because if Bitcoin shouldn't be doing well, not morally, but logically, if it shouldn't be doing well right now, but it is, then where does that come from? Well, it comes from people really understanding the why behind Bitcoin. People really understand what it's doing here. People really understand what it's all about. People understand why this industry exists. And this industry exists to bring financial sovereignty to people. And that's exactly why this channel exists too. That's why you guys love this channel. Because I ask myself that question a lot, like, why do people keep tuning in? I'm just some random guy on the internet looking at charts, but you guys have loved this content for a long time, and I think it clicks with me now. The mission of this channel is the exact same mission of Bitcoin. It's to bring people financial sovereignty. Can I have a hashtag FinSov in chat? Financial sovereignty is the idea that I came up, nobody else has talked about this word, but I want it to, I don't care about the credit. I want people using this word because this, in my opinion, perfectly encompasses what Bitcoin is all about. Financial sovereignty is you having complete and total control over your finances, over your financial institutions, over your currencies, rather than them having control over you. I don't want inflation to have a stranglehold on you. Everyone that lives in Argentina right now is saying, yeah, amen to that. I want you to have control over a currency that is not going to inflate your money away and then put it in the hands of the government so that they can go and waste it, because everybody knows the government's better at wasting money than you are. That's why we have to pay so much money in taxes. Efficiency is important after all. At the same time, I want you to have control over your currency so that you don't lose it, so that it's not stolen from you. Because again, and we've all made mistakes, I'm included in that, having failed security is a way that you can lose a lot of money. Bitcoin in its prime, when you're using it correctly and you're not having it on exchanges and everything, it is basically completely and totally unhackable. That's unheard of in the internet. That's never happened before, and it probably will never happen again without blockchain technology. That is a very cool system. On top of that, Bitcoin gives you the ability to decide what you're going to do with your currency without a ton of regulation and oversight. Now, there is some regulation on crypto, but it's mostly not regulation on Bitcoin, because who are you going to subpoena? Bitcoin Ltd? What are they, based in Massachusetts? No. You can't subpoena Bitcoin. Yeah, we're going to subpoena ChatGPT and have them show up in court. They'd probably do a better testimony than Sam Bankman-Fried, but, you know, it just doesn't work that way. You don't subpoena artificial intelligence, and Bitcoin's not artificial intelligence anyway. It's just a program. A lot of that regulation is around the space built around Bitcoin, but in its core, you can't really regulate Bitcoin. It just is. That's like trying to regulate a hurricane. Good luck. Oh, yeah, hurricane. Hey, we're going to have to bring you before a judge because you came and you destroyed Fort Myers for the third time in the last 20 years. That's not the way Bitcoin works. It's a force of nature. It is a physical reality. You cannot regulate it. You can regulate everything around it, and a lot of the stuff around it needs regulation, like the exchanges. You can't regulate Bitcoin. It is a financially sovereign currency, and governments of the world are either, one, very excited about it because they never had control over currency in the first place, so they don't care if they're losing it because they're not losing anything, or they're scared of it. That's where a lot of the United States regulators are. They're scared of it because it is a very powerful piece of technology. Bitcoin should not be doing as well as it is right now, but it is, and that's why I'm very excited to bring you today's TA. So I know that was a long introduction, but especially since we have a lot of new people here in chat. And by the way, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button if you think I'm providing valuable content to you. The reason I brought all of that to your attention is to lay the foundation of where Bitcoin is and where Bitcoin is going. Right now, Bitcoin on the hourly chart is trading at $24,924 and $24,924.55, 26 cents, etc. Bitcoin has been testing $24,900 for some time. $25,236 is a very important level. That is a level that was set as resistance on the 15th of August, 2022. It is the next level that Bitcoin needs to concretely break, because if Bitcoin does concretely break that level of resistance, here's what changes. How do we spell everything? Everything changes. Why? On the weekly chart, us breaking 25,236 means a couple of things. Number one, it means that we've broken $25,000, which is a big even level of resistance. That big even level of resistance sits right there, 1/4 of the way to $100,000. That's a big even level of resistance in a similar way that $20,000 is a big even level of resistance. If you guys are going to get into Club Defi, then you can come over here and you can scroll down, and we have a video in here on mass psychology right there. One of the tenets of mass psychology is that people are going to tend to trade around big levels like $25,000, because $25,000 is what I call a big even. It's a big psychological level of resistance that just makes sense to our monkey brains, right? So breaking 25K would mean that, well, we broke 25K, and that would be very bullish because we're breaking a big even. Second part, we'd be breaking second part A and part B. We'd be breaking the 200 and the 50 moving average on the weekly chart, meaning that, yeah, we'd have a death cross, but we're actually above the death cross. Good luck making an argument that the death cross is bearish when we just broke bullish through it. Come on. So us breaking that would be wonderful. The third point would be that we would be setting a new local high above this high, which basically negates the idea that we're just setting a fourth bear market top before we start moving back to the downside around $13,700. That basically means that you cannot argue that we're just setting a lower low below this low, because we've actually set a higher high above that high than we had set a high for back then. If that makes any sense, if you follow. So, Bitcoin breaking $25,236 is remarkably important, and I'm very excited to tell you that I think it will happen. Why? Well, we've had that bullish golden cross right here on the daily chart. That's one reason. But also down on the hourly chart, just look at this chart. Look at it. Just look at this. If you go over into principles of technical analysis also, we have support and resistance tips and support and resistance zones. All of these different videos, a lot of these videos in here, we talk about one of the concepts, which is that the more times you test a local level of resistance, like $25,000, if you test it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, then you're probably going to end up breaking the thing. Why do you keep going up there and testing the resistance if you're not going to break it? Normally, if you go up and test a resistance level like that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you're going to end up breaking that resistance level. On top of that, we've actually already broken $25,000 multiple times. If we set this level here at exactly 25K, we've gotten above this level no less than 5 times. In fact, we've gotten above $25,236 no less than once, probably even twice. Actually, I think only once. But we managed to get very close to it a second time not that long ago on the minute chart. You go back over here. We were live during this back last Friday. Not last Friday, a Friday ago. Yeah, it was last Friday. You could see that Bitcoin rallied all the way up here above $25,000. And then if you go back to what day was it? It was a few days ago. It was Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday. We actually did manage to rally just ever so briefly above 25,236. Again, we're on the minute chart here. But we actually rallied and set a new local high at 25,253. So we've actually technically broken it. We haven't really broken it because we haven't actually gotten up above that zone and traded above it, but Bitcoin's doing very well in this zone. It's doing remarkably well in this zone. And I'm very excited to see Bitcoin be able to break through this level, because if Bitcoin does break through 25,236, where do we go? The next place we go is 28,545, which is this level that we set as a bottom here in June of 2021. That's also a level that we set as a bottom right here on a pullback January 22nd, 2021, and also bottoms that we set here in May of 2022. On top of that, looking at VRVP, which we can bring up right there, there's a big gap here in VRVP. There's no resistance, 9 all the way up to $28,500. Bitcoin can very easily break through 25,236 and rocket straight to 28.5. It would hit its head there. That's a ceiling. Bitcoin could from there then fall back down and test 25,236 as support. That is very possible. However, with a lot of the things I've brought to your attention today, I think you might be realizing why I think Bitcoin's about to break bullish here. The fundamentals of Bitcoin, I'm talking the core fundamentals, not FTX imploded, BlockFi's gone down, Genesis is bankrupt. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fundamentals of Bitcoin's core architecture, the way that it works, are stronger than ever. And people realize that. And people are waiting for a prime opportunity to get into Bitcoin, because it's not that they don't like Bitcoin. That's not why they left. They left Bitcoin because there wasn't a good investment opportunity, because it was the beginning of a bear market. Fair enough. I get it. If the housing market is about to go through a massive crash and you have the ability to sell your house right before the massive crash, then sell your rental property right before the massive crash. If for some reason you can confidently predict that, then when the market crashes and the housing prices are down 40%, then go rebuy the real estate. That's what people are doing on Bitcoin. They're playing the long game. That's what I encourage you to do. During the bear market, don't get freaked out, guys. I've lived through 2 full bear markets now. I've lived through a bull market and a half and 2 full bear markets. I've lived through more bear market territory than I have through bull market territory. I've been through a lot of this. And I'm here to tell you that it's not something to get freaked out about. It's just the game that you have to play. And that game is actually very easy if you know how to play it. And that's why education is the greatest investment that you will make in yourself for this market, because educating yourself is the gate and key to financial sovereignty and wealth creation amassed here in the cryptocurrency industry. So what do I have to say about the way that Bitcoin is looking right now? I think it's very bullish. And I think if we do manage to break through 25,236, then we will end up going on a major run. If, however, we continue pushing our head up here and for some reason either a black swan news event comes in or we just don't find the strength to break through, then you'll probably find a drop back down to 22,808 or up to this uptrend or possibly even 21,005. It is possible that we have to go through another correction before we rally all the way up here. And the reason I say that is because really what the market is doing is following this trend line right here. You can see this trend line is actually pretty important for Bitcoin and for the cryptocurrency markets because it constitutes our lows right now. So it is possible that Bitcoin has to fall back down into here and then rally and then try and break through towards the end of March. That's possible. It wouldn't actually be a bad thing either, because it would mean that Bitcoin has really consolidated, really locked in gains and be even stronger for that next break to the upside. But hi-ho, we'll have to wait and see. I do think that we're going to break $25,000 more than likely within the next week or two, but certainly within the next month or two, I think it is very likely. Now, another thing I want to show you here is the total market capitalization charts. Over on the total market cap charts, we have 3 major levels that we need to break through. The first one was $1,031 billion. The second one was $1,052 billion. The third one, and this is the one I'm eyeing right now, is $1,181 billion. Those are the 3 local highs that we set on these 3 local highs here in August, September, and also into November, right before FTX went bankrupt. Ethereum has the same levels. You can see them right here. Ethereum needed to break through 1677, then it needs to get through 1796 next, and then $2,038. Those are those 3 equivalent levels. And on Bitcoin, those levels are a little bit hard to see on this chart, so I'll go to a different one and show you. Those levels show up right here around 21,500. They show up right here around 22,600, and then they show up right here around 25,236. That's the level that we're currently trying to break right now. At the moment, Bitcoin has broken through 2 of its 3 levels. Total has broken through 2 of its 3 levels, and Ethereum's broken through 1 of them, which means that of the 9 levels on 3 different charts, on 3 different markets, we've seen 5 of them be broken. That's better than nothing. That's better than average, and I'm very excited to see that. Now, one of the last things I want to show you before we look at chat, because I have not had the great pleasure of talking to chat just yet, That is, of course, our wonderful technical indicator that we love very much, and that would be Lux Algo. Now, Lux Algo scared us a little bit there for a second. We had a sell signal. We broke through the trend catcher. We were moving towards the EQ cloud. Wasn't great. From there, we saw a CPI print where we only lost 0.1% on CPI. But it was a bullish headline, and so people bought. From there, Bitcoin went into a rally. We saw a strong rally, bounced off of the top of the EQ cloud. Oh, beautiful. Love to see that. I love to see Bitcoin bounce off the top of the EQ cloud. We also bounced a little bit above the 50 daily moving average. From there, trend catcher moved to the upside. The sell signal got reversed. We're green, which means we're a strong buy signal, and we're getting closer towards the reversal zones. However, last time we had a bullish buy signal on Bitcoin, we moved into the reversal zones. This time, if we did that, we'd be testing $30,000. It is very possible that this is the beginning of a second leg to the upside, which will end up looking something like the previous, as a result of pent-up enthusiasm about a bull market. And if that occurred, we could see a rally of up to $32,000, which would be another $7,000 higher than where we are right now. That's possible. We're going to need to see a lot of follow-through on this strong buy signal if that is to occur. Now, something else I want to show you here. On the daily chart, we have a bullish MACD cross that coincided almost perfectly with this strong buy signal 2 days later. Wonderful. MACD reset almost down to the baseline, and now it's moving to the upside, and as you can see, it has a lot of room to run. MACD right now is in one of the highest levels that it's been at since the bear market began. That's very encouraging. Same thing with the RSI. The RSI had not gotten above 70 since these highs over here in October of 2021. A couple of weeks ago, it got up to 87. Okay? That ought to tell you something. RSI is sitting right now at 65, and that RSI is sitting pretty right here in a bull flag, in a bull pennant, and not all the time is RSI going to go through a bull pennant like this and break to the upside, but if it did, that would push RSI maybe to 90, probably less, but it would end up moving it to the upside. Looking on the weekly chart, looks even better. RSI is breaking above 50 for the first time confidently since, I don't know, it broke above it in July of 2021. RSI has been below 50, concretely below 50, for well over a year, except for when we broke back up above it relatively recently. On top of that, by the way, we also have a buy signal coming in on the weekly chart for Lux Algo in a way that we have not seen in a very long time. Now, that's not confirmed yet, but we did bounce bullish off of the trend catcher. Last time we saw a strong buy signal that was confirmed, we were right here. We saw a 61% rally. Before that, the last time we saw a buy signal on Lux Algo, we saw Bitcoin rally 600%. Boom. Wow. So Bitcoin's doing very, very well on a lot of fronts technically. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. The technicals right now, and the ideological idea, the market cycle, if you will, the amount of people that are saying, okay, it looks like Bitcoin might be done with this bear market, that is very much in good position. The geopolitics is not in the best position, and that's where we have to run into a little bit of trouble. If we end up running into this problem where Bitcoin is trying to rally and we don't actually have the follow-through to go through with it, then what we're going to end up seeing is that Bitcoin will probably plateau here or above $20,000 and then trade sideways for some time. We saw something like that happen during the last bear market where we saw Bitcoin ended up rallying exceptionally quickly up to $13,000, but then it was not able to maintain that rally and it ended up trading sideways for some time. Now, that may be what Bitcoin ends up doing relatively soon. We could end up seeing a major breakout up to $30,000 or $33,000, and then we trade sideways for some time, or we could move slightly slower to the upside and then maintain that rally moving into the next couple of years. But, and this is kind of the coup de grace of the entire thing, we are getting very close to the halving event on Bitcoin. The halving event on Bitcoin happens every 4 years. One of them happened back here in 2016. One of them happened here in 2020. We'll show you right about, let's see, not that. The first one happened, not the first one, but the one I'm talking about here in 2016 happened right around here. April, May territory of 2016, boom, massive bull market. Another one occurred right here in May of 2020, and then boom, massive bull market. The next one's going to occur more than likely around the March to May territory, which is called April of 2024. Normally when that occurs, Bitcoin's already begun the bull market. If anything, it might be in a little bit of an accumulation, and then it ends up going through a massive blow-off top and rallies back to the all-time high. In short, in the next 2 weeks, I think Bitcoin will be trading above 25K with a greater than not likelihood. I think very likely within the next 2 months, it'll be above $25,000. And within the next 2 years, I think Bitcoin will be back at all-time high and pressing on towards $100,000. And you will see a $3 to $5 trillion market capitalization coming back into the crypto space, at least $1 trillion of that being in Bitcoin, probably closer to 2. So that is my take. Bitcoin could be just hours from a major rally. Yes, absolutely. Bitcoin could be just hours from a major rally because at any moment, it could break through that level of 25,236 because of where it's sitting right now. And from there, we could end up going through that massive rally. Okay. Let's go ahead and read some chat. We've got a lot of people in chat. We've got a super chat too. So let's go ahead and see how you guys are doing. Let's see. Mike Lowry said, you forgot to mention there are some free previews of the videos to check out first. Hashtag FinSoft. Boom, that is absolutely right. If you are interested, let me just make sure my machine here is muted. You can come over and you can actually check out some of the previews here on the, trading, not on TradingView, sorry, on Teachable here. And you can actually see exactly what Mike Lowry is talking about there. You can see some of these videos here are set up for preview. The first 4 of them are set up for preview. So even if you don't end up buying Club DeFi, Principles of Technical Analysis, you can end up watching these 4 videos for free. And by the way, let me just break down what all of this is. So I know this is a lot. The Club DeFi is the place where I pour my heart and soul into everything I can, teaching you guys cryptocurrency, not just technical analysis, but the masses. Right now, we have 1 course active. That is Principles of Technical Analysis. Now, there's about 15 videos in here I want to reshoot. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they don't have the right information. I just want to reshoot them for a variety of reasons. This is not a beta launch. This is fully active. But there are a few updates I want to do over the next couple of months. So just keep that in mind. There's some updates that will probably be coming to Club DeFi. Now, we do have a baby that's coming in 6 weeks, more than likely, maybe less. So that could cause a hiccup. But I do want to make some updates to Club DeFi. But I would consider this a completed product. I just want to put even more polish on it, if you understand what I'm saying. So in Club DeFi right now, there are 62 videos covering everything from just the very beginning introductory ideas of what technical analysis is and some of the basic patterns down to your oscillators, down to your indicators, and then chart formations. Then we also have more technical analysis down here, and then we have some software that we go over as well. Some of these videos I really like are like math psychology, where I talk about things like big evens. When we talk about, for example, $25,000 being a quarter of the way to $100,000, in my experience, I've witnessed things like 20,000, 50,000, 25,000, 30,000, those big, large, whole numbers being very important. That's one of the things we talk about in math psychology. There's other facets of that as well. Then we talk, of course, about some of the more basic things like white soldiers and black crows. If you know about the 3 white soldiers and the 3 black crows, that's where we talk about that. Psychology of candlesticks. How do the candlesticks works? Bull and bear markets. These are very important. Spinning tops, Elliott waves. I even talk about Ichimoku cloud. You guys ask me about Ichimoku cloud sometimes. MACD, RSI, divergence, stochastics, hash ribbons, VRVP, of course, VPVR, VRVP, however you want to say it. The 20 EMA. This is one of my favorite moving averages in the entire market. If you want to learn about technical analysis, you are in the right direction. Let me tell you exactly why you should. This stream should serve to you as what you can be. I'm not saying that I'm anything special, because I'm not. But I have studied a lot in the cryptocurrency space, and my understanding of crypto, you can have of crypto. It is just an education away. Now, let me just make this very clear as to why I think Club DeFi is one of the best investments you will ever make in crypto, even better, in my opinion, than a lot of cryptocurrencies. That's a strong statement, but let me lay the case out for you. I know a lot of people that have poured a lot of money into crypto, and they poured it into the wrong investments. They poured it into maybe the right investment at the wrong time. They did not manage it very well, and the money they put in, they lost because they didn't have the education. They didn't have the training to be able to make the most of that investment, and they ended up getting burned and leaving the space, and they miss out on a great opportunity, the opportunity of a lifetime, because they didn't have the education or the discipline to understand how to properly manage that investment. Education is the difference between a failing trader and a succeeding trader. And if you want to be a succeeding trader or investor or just participant in the cryptocurrency space, you have to have the education to back it up. The way that I learned all of what I know about cryptocurrency was through thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of investment in my mind, through watching videos, learning things on Google, searching things, learning the hard way, through talking to people, networking, watching videos, making videos, running the YouTube channel. It took me well over 10 to 15,000 hours to learn everything that I know now about cryptocurrency. as a father and a husband and a business owner, and I have a child and one more on the way. I have 2 children, but one more on the way that's going to be here soon because she's going to be born soon. I don't have that kind of time to be able to pour into that much investment. Now, luckily for me, it is my job to study cryptocurrency markets. So I get more time than you probably do, but I don't when I was single and I had nothing going on other than building the YouTube channel, I had the time to make that kind of investment in myself. I don't now. If I was starting from square one, the reason that I think Club DeFi is so valuable is because it's the product that I would want. I built this product so that I would understand how the market works. I built this product so that I would understand how the market worked if I knew nothing about the market, so that I could get myself back to where I was. If I got neuralized in Men in Black, I want to be able to go through Club DeFi, regain all the knowledge that I have about crypto right now. And that's kind of the idea of what Club DeFi is. It's not there yet because there's so much more that I know about crypto that I want to share with you guys, that I want to put in other courses. But that's the cool thing, is that Club DeFi is going to have more courses coming in the future, covering things like trading, covering things like on-chain, covering things like geopolitics, covering things like macro, covering things like understanding the way that the global markets impact the cryptocurrency markets. It's the place that I'm going to pour my heart and soul and my mind into teaching you, so that if I ever got neuralized, I'd be able to come back and relearn everything in a timely manner. That's what I want Club DeFi to be, and I also want it to be enjoyable. So all those videos are about 5 to 10 minutes. I think they're pretty fun, so make sure to check them out. You can go to cryptojebb.com and hit any of the buttons to go on over to Club DeFi and sign up today. Again, if you have any questions about this, then make sure to go ahead and send us a email to support@cryptojebb.com. And I already have one of them. This is a pretty big question that I wanted to tackle. Alex Tarnowski said, Jebb, what about the people that bought CT2A? That's a great question. I was ready for that one. The people that bought CT2A, if we can verify that you bought CT2A and you're in our records, or you can provide some kind of proof of purchase or something, you will be getting 25% off of Principles of Technical Analysis. So email us, support@cryptojebb.com. I expect there's going to be a lot of emails coming into support@cryptojebb.com. We're a small team. It's going to take us a while to get back to all of them, but we're going to try and go through all of that. So if you bought CT2A, you can either buy Club DeFi and we can try and refund you the $100. That'd be the harder way, so probably don't do that. Or you can email support@cryptojebb.com. We'll generate you a one-time 25% off coupon code specifically for you, and you'll get into Principles of Technical Analysis, because Principles of Technical Analysis covers some of the same stuff as CT2A, but it is an entirely different and longer and more highly produced course than CT2A ever was. I do think it is definitely an upgrade. So make sure to check it out. You can find the link for that by going to cryptojebb.com, and I'm going to put it in the description as well. Go to cryptojebb.com. Boom. All right, let's read some chat. You guys have been so gracious as to join me today while we talk about CT2A and while we talk about Club DeFi, and also, more importantly, while we talk about the cryptocurrency market. So thank you guys so very much for that. We got CBD Suddy in chat. Digital Asset Hutch said, I was talking about the accumulation phase. To Jebb, to my friends, everyone thinks up and down, but never sideways. Exactly. Sideways is a possibility. Let's see. Pump it up, Jebb. I would love to be able to pump up the market. I am not that big of a whale that I can pump up the market myself, but I can hopefully get you guys pumped up. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's a super chat. Let me make sure I read this. RC Moore donated $4.99, said, 100 years from now, once the last BTC is mined, who is going to do the mining? How is BTC going to be transacted and rewarded? Great question. So there's two different ways that miners are rewarded. It's a very cool elastic system that operates. They are rewarded by the block reward and also by fees. So the fees on Bitcoin are one of the actually big drivers of miners. They are making the fees while also making the block reward. When the block reward passes away, because there's no more there's no more Bitcoin to be mined, no more new Bitcoin being created, then the miners will rely on the fees. But luckily for us, that's not a problem that we really have to worry about, because that's well over 100 years from now. But just so you know, for your great-great-great-grandchildren who are going to operate with Bitcoin, hopefully, that is a problem that has been solved since the inception of Bitcoin. The fees will be the thing that incentivize the miners to mine. And luckily, the way that the mining ecosystem is set up, it is a auto-balancing system where if the fees are not high enough and the revenue is not high enough, then it forces some miners to turn off, so the rest of the miners make more money, and then it causes a sort of healthy competition where the miners that can mine for the lowest amount of money end up making the most money, which forces the miners that are not very efficient to go offline, and it causes this kind of natural selection, which is very in line with capitalism, whereas the company that does the best will end up, well, doing the best. Shadrach Frost said, please, folks, smash the like button and give some love and respect to Jebb, who brings us this channel daily. Thank you so much, Shadrach Frost. Thank you so very much. Got a lot of hashtag FinSov in chat. A lot of hashtag FinSov in chat earlier when I said that. Classic IT guys in chat. Win Peoples. Flavio Goncalves is in chat. What is quantum computing and when do we worry about that? Not anytime soon. I would go into that if I had more time, but I don't have too much time right now. Brief Crypto said, hit the subscribed button. Welcome to the channel, Brief Crypto. Said BTC battle at 25K. Absolutely right. All right. Digital Asset Hutch said, yes, everyone needs to sub to this man. Been a lurker for a while, but hope to get more active. Well, welcome to the stream, Digital Asset Hutch, for as long as you've been here. Thank you so much. Does that mean we can't access the course we bought anymore? We're on disability benefits and don't have spare funds to buy another course, even with discount, sadly. Totally understand. CT2A came with a promise that you would have access to it for life, so you should have access to CT2A still, even with Club DeFi being up. CT2A is offline, which means you can't go and buy it now because it's an antiquated product, but if you have CT2A, you should still be able to get access to CT2A. I totally understand. And if any of you guys have any special circumstances, such as the one that was just brought up in chat, you can feel free to email support@cryptojebb.com and we can talk to you about that. But yes, if you have CT2A, you should still be able to continue having CT2A. Also, remember to drop a like. Can we get 350? Yes, let's do it. Thank you so much. We've got 366. All right. Let's see. Hey, Jebb, do you think Algo will break its all-time high? Ooh, I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I'm not... Let's see. I'll look at that really quickly. I'm going to have to wrap it out because we are running a little late. Yeah, I'm not really sure about Algorand, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's going to or not. I think it'd take a lot for it to be able to get back that far up. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's stream, please make sure to go ahead and hit this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and sign up for Club DeFi, guys. The Principles of Technical Analysis is live. Like I said, there will be more course content in the future, but for right now, that's what we have, and I'm really excited to let you guys know that it is live. I've been waiting to launch this for a while. And also make sure to go over to cryptojebb.com, click around, check out our new website. We love it. It's really a lot of fun. It's really a whole lot of fun, and I love playing with it. It's something I'm very, very proud of, very excited for. My employee, Malachi, and his girlfriend actually built that website. So that wasn't something that we went out and contracted somebody like $100,000 to do, which you probably would have had to pay that if somebody else did it. My employee and his girlfriend did it as a project. They spent time together, and it was really lovely that what they were able to do. So shout out to him, by the way. Credit where credit's due. Shout out to Malachi. I won't say his last name just for his own personal privacy, but he's another employee of ours. He did a great job on that. All right. Well, anyway, let's see. A couple of, let's see. Shadrach Frost said, thank you for all you do, Jebb. Much love, brother. Yes, thank you guys as well. Guys, I am going to have to wrap it out as much as I hate to do it, but be on the lookout because in the next couple of days, we could end up seeing a major break to the upside on Bitcoin. We could end up seeing a major break above $25,000. And if you're a trader, then that is a prime opportunity for you to go into a long. Just please, because we are very high right now and we have already seen a big rally, please use a very conservative stop loss, ideally a very tight trailing stop loss, like a 1% trailing stop loss, and be very careful with leverage because if we break above $25,000, I think we will go to 28. But at the same time, Bitcoin could be getting close to running out of steam because it's already run 50% in the last 45 days. So be careful, but there is a high likelihood that we could see a major breakout soon. And if you're a trader, make the most of it. If you're an investor, you might not see these levels again for a very long time or ever. So make sure to check them out. Make sure to check out Club DeFi with the link in the description box down below. Go to cryptojebb.com, hit any of the buttons that say enroll, and check us out. I really do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. But before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.